Hey everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video. I wanted to share a project with you using some of our Simon Says Stamp and brand new Splendor release products. And today's project is going to be looking at a die a little bit differently and seeing how you can use a die to create a whole new effect on your card. And we're also going to do a bit of ink blending on top to create a beautiful assortment of rainbow colors. So our new half spring floral mandala die is a beauty, and it makes this really pretty half medallion that I thought could be a rainbow. And the reason I thought it could be a rainbow is by adding a little bit of coloring with your inks on top in a rainbow fashion, it's going to simulate that look. So I'm trying to look at my dies a little bit differently and give them a whole new effect. I'm using a variety of our Simon Says Stamp Positively saturated inks in Peony, Peachy, Zest, which is a brand new color to our collection. I also brought in Celery, Surf, and Heather. And so these colors are a really pretty rainbow. It's very springy and happy, and I thought that would be a really great way to simulate that rainbow effect with this die. So by looking at a die a little bit differently, you can give it a whole new look and more life. So once I finish up the ink blending for this die cut piece, I'm also going to bring in some pattern paper. This fun floral pattern from the Paige Blooming Wild collection, I thought would make a great border along the bottom of my A2 card. And I'm also cutting that spring floral mandala twice more from some white cardstock. I'm going to glue these two white pieces behind my rainbow piece, so that way it's a little bit more dimensional off of my card panel. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but it does give it a little bit more depth off of the card, which I think adds some interest to this piece. Also makes it a little bit more substantial. So I put glue on each layer and then stack them all up so I get this really nice embellishment piece that I can put on my card. Then I'll put glue on the back side of that and glue it straight down onto my A2 card. Anything that's hanging off the sides, I will trim off with my scissors just to clean it up. I put some foam tape along the bottom of my card, and that's where I'm going to adhere that little floral panel. That brings out the green and the yellows really nicely, which are in the middle of the card. And I thought that was a good grounding piece because that brings in those two middle colors, which really ties everything together nicely. Along the top of that floral piece, I am going to glue a small strip of our Simon Says Stamp matte gold cardstock, which adds a nice touch of gold and will also match nicely with the gold sentiment that we're going to add on top. So this background looks fantastic. The greeting I chose to use for this card is Fancy Lucky. I cut it from both the matte gold cardstock and also some white for the shadow layer. If you don't want to use this greeting though, you could swap out the greeting for anything you want. Birthday, thinking of you, you name it. Now to complete my sentiment, I'm going to use our Reverse Lucky sentiment strips. These are also brand new from the Splendor release. And these sentiments, because they're printed with toner ink, I can actually foil. So I'm going to use some toner foil in the Therm color of Glass Slipper. I will stick my sentiment and the foil into a carrier sheet, and I'm going to run this through my Mink machine, or you can use a laminator, whatever machine you have that works with toner foiling. And once I have this foiled, that's going to give me this really nice teal sentiment that will go beautifully with my card. I'm going to glue my Lucky sentiment onto the shadow layer, and that's going to give it some separation from the background. I use Simon Says Stamp Craft Tacky Glue to do all of my adhering. That's a really nice strong adhesive that does dry clear, so if you have any glue that squishes out the sides, you won't notice it. And then to complete everything and embellish my rainbow just a bit, I'm going to use some of our brand new clear Dazzling gems, and those sparkle so beautifully on top of this colorful background. I'm using our Simon Says Stamp Place and Score tool, which has a nice wax tip that is strong enough to pick up a larger embellishment like this. So there we have it. How fun is this card where we took a mandala die and used it creatively to create a rainbow? I hope that this has inspired you to look at some of your dies a little bit differently and see how you can stretch them to make something other than what it was intended to create. It's a fun way to be able to stretch your supplies and get a whole new look with things you already have. Now, if you're interested in any of the supplies that I mentioned today, you can find them down below in the video description as well as on our blog, so be sure to check all of that out. I hope you enjoyed, friends. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I'll be back very soon to share more with you all. Until next time, have a fabulous day.
Hi there, I'm I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.